like you said. So they went out and hired Luke Getsy, who is the offensive coordinator now of the Chicago Bears. He was the quarterbacks coach for the Green Bay Packers. And a lot of people go, well, what is a quarterbacks coach for a team that has Aaron Rodgers doing? And it's like, well, what you have to realize is that, they changed the passing game quite a bit when Aaron Rodgers when what's his name got there, the head coach.
LaFleur.
When LaFleur got there, they changed the offense quite a bit. And what they did was they typically with a quarterback, you try to, make it easier for the quarterback by scheming certain plays where, hey, you're throwing it to this guy, we're getting him open on this play, throw it to him.
Unless
Makes
you're the
it
Bears.
easy. Well, yeah,
yeah.
unless you're the Bears and then you screwed up. But either
Disclaimer.
way, the point is they did that plenty of times with Davante Adams. And so what it does for Aaron Rodgers is that's one less decision that Aaron Rodgers has to make, and all he has to worry about then on that play is making the best throw, which he can do very easily. So makes his job a little bit easier, and it makes the rest of the game easier for him to do what he does, which is play, at apparently an MVP level. We can talk about that, but anyways, right. The point is that he did a lot for them with that. And he also did get play calling experience, which is another thing that people didn't realize, is that he was allowed to call plays in the preseason, which, it is the preseason, yes, and he's not using starters most of the time, but it does help getting play calling experience regardless, because you're able to see the flow of plays called, how a play fills into another on a drive, building a drive. All that goes into the experience that he got doing that. So that's also helpful. So it's not like he's coming into it completely blind for the first time. Although, he is obviously going to be a first-time officially play caller.
Yeah.
So a lot to like about that. And the fact, too, that he's also the only person that's going to be in control. Like, he's not, the problem with an offensive coach, hiring him as a head coach, is that they're worried about the offense, but they also have to be a head coach. We saw that already with Matt Nagy playing it out, where Matt Nagy had some pretty decent head coaching, capabilities. But then his offense, and him trying to focus on that and trying to focus on both, it never worked out, obviously. And so it's nice where, Eberflus can instead be the director, the general, run the whole team, get everybody on the same page, go through his, it's HITS acronym, which is, I understand coaches using acronyms, but you have to understand that, like, if you can actually explain the acronym and it actually makes sense and it's actually something that, like, has qualities to it that, like, you're like, yeah, that should be a thing, then it's not that weird. So everybody needs to calm down with that too. But the point is that you can allow Luke Getsy to just be the offensive coordinator and just call plays and just work with Justin Fields. And then if you listen to the press conference with him, it's great because he said that he essentially wants to build. He has a playbook, because they asked him, like, how are you building the offense? And he said he wants to build it around the players he has and the quarterback. And then people then went to, okay, well, what does that mean as far as, like, do you have plays? Like, do you have a playbook then? Or is it just like you're building the offense literally from the ground up? And he said, well, no, I have a playbook, but we're going to develop a game plan around the players we have, what they do well, and Justin Fields. And it's like that on its own is an incredible thing, because Matt Nagy never did that. It's like the complete opposite of Matt Nagy, because literally what happened with Matt Nagy is Matt Nagy went, I'm going to run my offense regardless of who I have, and that's all. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't have the players to run the offense, then you can't run it. So the fact that we're actually going to build our offense around what our players do well, is the important part there. And he also said too, if you have injuries, we're going to adjust for that, which is another thing too, because what's his face? Andy Dalton got injured. Justin Fields comes in, and you look like the game plan never changed, and it looked like they didn't even scheme anything for Justin Fields, and he got killed in the Browns game. So that's all very encouraging, and I feel much better about that. Plus the staff that he put together, Eberflus put together, which is basically finalized now, does look good. There's a lot of players on there, a lot of coaches on there that I'm quite happy about. And then I do feel strongly about, guys like the linebackers coach coming over from the Indy. That really helped, obviously, Leonard, Darius Leonard become the guy that he is. He's now helping, with an already should be a Pro Bowler, should be an All-Pro in Roquan Smith. So already that's nice. So yeah, overall, I'm very happy with the class, or with the coaching, carousel that we have currently. And then I'm also happy with Ryan Poles, and I feel like he's actually running the organization like you should. So I'm actually just excited overall for all that.
Do you remember when Harry Highstand was supposed to save the Bears? when
Oh
that was like the
God.
big hire and all those guys that
Yeah.
came through and then they got fired and just like scapegoated year after year.
Hmm.
There was the new guy who came from, oh, I don't know. I know Haystam was the offensive line coach, I think, and then they pulled
Yeah.
somebody else out who was like, oh, this guy's really gonna save him, and he's got so much
Ugh.
experience, and they got in the trash bin and you never hear from him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We just.
hopefully at least these ones have NFL experience that goes over like 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, and
that's
that's
nice.
yeah, that's the thing is they actually do have experience, and a lot of them have worked at good organizations like the Colts and the Chiefs and the Eagles, who you could say whatever you want about the Eagles, but they made the playoffs this year with a first-time head coach, and they also have won the Super Bowl in the last 5 years. So
Yeah.
and Bears haven't won one in the last 35 years. So kind of important to have that in your organization.
Yep.
So overall, quite happy with that. Now, the thing